Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater, and I don't usually like to dive into rumors and theories as often. I like concrete news to come out, but this is one that I came across on Reddit, and I felt that it was too good to not talk about. Similar to how yesterday I talked about how whether or not Thanos' snap didn't kill half the universe, but simply moved them to a different direction. Here we have another theory about the possibility of the ending of Robert Downey Jr.'s arc as Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and how it's going to actually kind of be taking away the death of some other main character from comics. And that is going to be interesting. So let's take a look here at this Reddit post from Master Debater 88. I'm sure he is a master debater. Good for him. Saying here, Tony completes his arc that we normally see with Uncle Ben. Interesting. Let's dive in. The reason why we didn't see Uncle Ben die in Homecoming, even in a flashback, is because they are prepping Tony to fill that role. Tony has this arc with Spidey where he recruits him because his mentor then watches Spidey disappear. When the deaths are undone, Peter is in trouble again at some point in Endgame, and Tony will sacrifice himself to save the kid. It will complete his arc and will also mirror what we usually see with Uncle Ben. Now, that is an interesting theory. And they didn't talk about Uncle Ben much out at all in Spider-Man Homecoming. It wasn't mentioned at all in Civil War either. We knew that they weren't going to do an origin story. We knew that they weren't going to do anything like that with with Spider-Man Homecoming. They just wanted to jump into the character, 2 origin movies, no need to go back into it. Everyone knows the backstory, yada, 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 right? Which is a good thing to do. We need to do fewer backstories or fewer origins for some of these characters now. It's been a long time we've been there. we've seen it. We're good. We're done. But if Robert Downey Jr. does in fact do this, that would be something. Now, there was a theory I heard from a couple people on Twitter a while back that was one of the girls who was in 13 Reasons Why, the main girl who was in that show, the one who died. She is playing like she has a role in Avengers Endgame. We don't know what it is yet. We didn't see it in the trailer. But the theory there is that she is Tony Stark's child. Right. And that she grows up. And that was the movie takes place over so much time. And Tony gets to know his daughter. And at the end of it, he has to basically sacrifice his daughter to go back and save everybody else. And that was kind of an emotional, gut-wrenching moment. Now, I liked the idea, but that ties in ultimately to the time travel theory that I think is more prevalent to this particular story than not. People out there want to go multiverse. That's cool, too. A lot of multiverse in the comic, setting up Secret Wars. I get it. I think time travel, just for the sake of discussing it with with audiences around the world for making it easier to digest, I think that's what they're going to go for. That's just my take on it. But if he goes back and saves Peter, because we know that there is that father-son dynamic, we know that it's there, and to see that played out to where Tony dies, sacrificing himself to save Peter. And that's the Uncle Ben arc, so to speak. That would be interesting. That would be, I don't know if they'd be able to set it up to be 100% Uncle Ben, but they would definitely be able to kind of allude to that thematically. And I think that would just rip everyone's hearts out. Like it's Tony's arc reactor just shutting down for the last time. You just chest burst, right? People would start weeping in the crowd, and that would have the emotional resonance that people are looking for, right? When I talked about the theory from yesterday, a lot of the comments were saying if they're not dead, then it removes the emotional impact. If they go back in time and they save everybody, then it removes the permanence of the death of the characters, which is true. I don't know if there's really any kind of perfect scenario in this particular case where everyone's going to be happy. I don't think people are going to be happy at the end of Endgame. I don't think it's going to have a happy ending. If this ending is true, if this theory comes out to be, that's some solid work right there. That's a solid, that is the emotional gotcha that a lot of people have been dreading, because people are fearing that Robert Downey Jr. is going to die as Iron Man, right? That he's going to die because he's been in the role for 11 years. He's probably ready to move on. They're probably not, they're going to have to kill one off, and they're going to have to kill off someone who is big, right? I don't think it's going to be Thor, because Thor is still doing like really, really, really well in regards to, you know, like people's enjoyment of him in Ragnarok want more of that. So they're not going to get rid of Thor. They've already said now that Captain America is probably not done. So I think that ties into Captain Marvel and how that movie is kind of poised to fail at this point. But that being said, I'm still very, very curious to see what's going to happen next, which is why I leave it to you. How do you feel about this theory? Will Robert Downey Jr. become the new Uncle Ben? Leave your thoughts below. Do you think it's legit? You think it's bullshit? I'm curious. Also, if you guys want to call into our voicemail line, you can do so at 818-350-3281. That is 818-350-3281. And I will answer your questions this weekend on the call-in. Do try to make them about 30 seconds or less. This way I can get to more questions, and I really appreciate it if you guys do that. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. My name is Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.